Angel Reese, going home to her alma mater, LSU, plays against the Brazilian national team in front of 6,373 people. 6,373 people. This is an arena that holds 13,000 people.
A national champion returns to her alma mater, the place where she built her legend, the court where fans once chanted her name and celebrated her dominance. But this time, the cheers were faint, the seats were half empty, and the silence spoke louder than any headline ever could. Angel Reese, one of the most talked-about figures in women's basketball, came back to LSU as a professional, and the reception wasn't just underwhelming, it was telling.
Yeah, we're gonna eat good this year. How about another McBrick? Bang! Your local McDonald's, you can order the Angel Reese special, you can get the combo meal, you get the bang bang! Hey, get her a credit card, with the reward points, because she loves to travel! Bang!
This wasn't just any return. It was supposed to be a victory lap, a coronation, the homecoming of a hometown hero. You'd expect thousands to pack the Pete Maravich Assembly Center. You'd expect thunderous applause, sold-out tickets, maybe even standing ovations. But what happened instead has fans, analysts, and even Angel's own family scrambling to explain the one thing no one wants to admit. Maybe the hype isn't what we thought it was.
Angel Reese is now quoted as saying, "I'll look back in 20 years and be like, yeah, the reason why we're watching women's basketball is not just because of one person." She refuses to say Caitlin Clark's name. "It's because of me too, and I want you to realize that."
And that's what we're here to uncover. What really happened when Angel Reese went home, and what it says about her future in the WNBA. Because while she may have declared that people watch for me too, the crowd told a very different story.
A lot of Angel Reese fans are not basketball fans, and they are proving it. They proved it last night without a shadow of a doubt. That was one of the most embarrassing things I've ever seen.
When Angel Reese returned to LSU with the Chicago Sky for a preseason matchup against the Brazilian national team, the storyline wrote itself. A former college champion, now a pro, coming home to the arena where she became a national icon. But the visuals from that night told a brutally different tale. The Pete Maravich Assembly Center, which holds more than 13,000 fans, saw just over 6,300 show up. That's less than half capacity. Rows of empty seats. Silence where there used to be deafening chants. A visual metaphor for a narrative unraveling.
They did not even halfway fill that place up last night. So the narrative about people are watching for me too, people are showing up for me too, that narrative that's don't let anybody try to blow smoke up your ass.
This wasn't a sellout, not even close. And that would have been forgivable if the tickets were expensive or the marketing was lackluster. But here's the kicker. Ticket prices started at just $11, less than the cost of a movie ticket. Still, thousands of seats were left untouched. That fact alone ignited a firestorm across social media, with many fans questioning just how strong Reese's alleged drawing power really is. If fans wouldn't turn up at her own homecoming for less than $15, when exactly are they showing up?
There was over 6,800 seats still available, and some people were saying, by the way, that literally there were some $15 tickets out there.
It's hard to ignore what this attendance says about the disconnect between perception and reality. For a player who's been heavily promoted, endorsed, and hailed as a central figure in the WNBA's future, the turnout at her home court raised serious questions. Because if this was supposed to be her moment and the fans didn't show, was the hype ever real to begin with?
We're going to point this out because Angel decided to come out and she said, I'm going to play the victim. Or, well, the victim, yeah, and the villain. People are watching for me too. No, they're not. No, they're not.
Angel Reese didn't shy away from the spotlight. In fact, she walked right into it. During the height of her NCAA fame, she boldly declared that she, not just Caitlin Clark, was the reason people were watching women's basketball. That quote circulated everywhere. I'll look back in 20 years and be like, yeah, the reason why we're watching women's basketball is not just because of one person, it's because of me too. Reese refused to say Clark's name, but the implication was crystal clear. She considered herself just as big of a draw.
Angel Reese's mother has gone on the offensive and called out Caitlin Clark fans for pointing out attendance. And I just don't see the point in this. I don't see the point in this.
And with that statement came expectations. Huge ones. Reese wasn't just calling herself a great player. She was challenging the entire sports media ecosystem. She was demanding that people put her name in the same sentence as Clark. Not just in terms of skill, but in terms of marketability, cultural relevance, and crowd appeal. That kind of claim creates pressure, the kind that follows you into every game, every arena, every camera flash.
There is no argument to be made. We heard it from Chinea Wumake as well. We've heard it from a lot of people. Like, there's no argument to be made that there is a needle. There is a needle.
So when she finally returned to LSU, the place that put her on the map, this was supposed to be proof. A victory parade, validating everything she'd ever said about her status. But when the stands remained half empty, that quote came back around like a boomerang. And this time, it hit harder than ever.
You have literally got a parent of a player in the WNBA flexing winning a college ring, while instead of, because people are calling out attendance. These people are calling out attendance, and the only reason people are calling out attendance is because Angel said the whole people watching for me too.
Everything about the Chicago Sky's decision to schedule this game in Baton Rouge made sense on paper. Reese was back where she'd become a household name. The fans who watched her dominate the SEC were now being given a chance to support her as a pro. The Sky handed LSU fans a gift, a rare opportunity to cheer on their former star without leaving town. It should have been magic.
But people have not shown up to watch her play basketball, and that is a fact. Like, people do not really show up to watch Angel Reese play basketball. And I do think that there's not that there's a reason for it, but I do think that can be that's something that you can mention when the people are watching for me too statement has come out of her mouth.
Instead, it felt awkward. The camera panned over wide, empty sections. The arena that once shook with applause now sat eerily quiet. Even though the school had celebrated Reese just a year prior for leading them to a national title, that same community didn't come out in full force. It wasn't just disappointing, it was jarring. You don't expect a player who's been called the face of women's basketball to struggle drawing a crowd on her own campus.
The second you go to college, what you did in high school doesn't matter. The second you set foot in the pros, what you did in college does not matter.
The imagery was damning. The hometown hero returned to her kingdom, only to find the throne room half empty. It forced a harsh realization onto fans, media, and perhaps even Reese herself. Popularity on social media doesn't always translate into actual support in the stands.
By contrast, Reese's shooting woes drew criticism. She finished 30th in two-point percentage at 40%. God. 29th in three-point percentage, 18.8. And her effective field goal percentage was a league low 39.5%. That's crazy as hell. And I don't want to hear nothing about a big. We're going to take a look at something. Even from the free throw line, often a reliable scoring source for bigs, she landed 27th. Considering most of Reese's shots come from close to the rim.
When clips of the empty arena started flooding Twitter and Instagram, fans didn't hold back. Where are all the Angel Reese fans now? I thought y'all said she was a superstar. The posts came fast, brutal, and unfiltered. But what really caught people's attention wasn't Reese's silence. It was her mother's voice.
Setting the line at 3.5 hop skippity-doo 3000s this year, okay?
Chicken fingers? Butterfingers? Butter pecan? Burn!
Na boo boo, you can't get me. Look at me now, I'm soaring through the air like a flying giraffe. Bang! Sometimes I think she closes her eyes and says, F it, the rim's up there somewhere. Bang!
Let's throw it back to the greatest layup ever known to mankind, the scoopity poop layup. How about it? Bang! Professional athlete, by the way.
She's got more podcast episodes, 30, than double-doubles, 26. Can't make it up. Bang!
Angel Reese's mom decided to step into the ring. Her now infamous tweet read, "That certain fan base looking in the stands, celebrating attendance while others are looking up in the rafters, celebrating championship banners. We ain't the same. Different year, same haters. Have a great day." While she didn't name names, everyone knew exactly who that certain fan base was: Caitlin Clark supporters. It wasn't just a tweet. It was a declaration.
It's just a fact. She is, it's more than a fact. She is not good at layups. But I was looking at her stats. I jotted some down right here, and she shoots an abysmal 39% from the field. She shot below 50% on shots less than 5 feet away, which is bad. And even worse than that is that shots from 5 to 9 feet, 13%.
The problem? It backfired. Hard. Instead of defending her daughter, the tweet redirected attention straight back to the attendance issue. Fans saw it as an attempt to deflect, to dodge the uncomfortable truth. College titles are great, sure. But in the pros, it's a different ballgame. Championships don't fill seats. Star power does. And in that moment, it became obvious to everyone that the seats weren't the only thing empty. So was the argument.
And this tells you, look at effective bigs in the league. Jonquel Jones, one of my favorite players, actually. Brittany Griner, 1 and 2. All right, that's what it's supposed to look like for somebody that's 6'3" and above. Asia Wilson, way up there. Then Mitchell, then Clark. Look, if you want to compare Angel to somebody like Aaliyah Boston, look at that. She's right here, 53.7% from 2-point percentage. She was ranked 13th in the league. Angel was ranked 30th.
There's a harsh reality in sports that hits some players harder than others. What you did in college doesn't always follow you into the pros. Angel Reese built a legend at LSU. She was fierce, unapologetic, and marketable. But as soon as she stepped into the WNBA, the rules changed. Now it's not just about passion or legacy. It's about performance, consistency, and drawing power.
Good luck finding affordable tickets for the Indiana Fever preseason game against Brazil at Carver Hawkeye Arena. Seats at the arena for the May 4th matchup between the Indiana Fever and Brazil were first offered to season ticket holders and a few top donors. It didn't take long for them to be gone.
The attendance in Baton Rouge made that transition brutally clear. During her college days, LSU games were electric. Packed houses, national buzz, championship-level energy. But her return as a pro? A whimper. If fans didn't turn up now, when it should have been an emotional, nostalgic reunion, when would they?
Caitlin Clark, in that, has become arguably the most influential basketball player in the world, both on the men's and the women's side.
It's not about hate. It's not about Clark versus Reese. It's about understanding that professional success requires more than social media momentum. You have to evolve, prove yourself all over again, and deliver results that excite fans beyond your old highlight reel. And right now, that's exactly what Reese is struggling to do.
I saw this thread on Twitter. I was shocked by it. I was pleasantly shocked and surprised. I thought it was so cool and so savage.
Just as this controversy around her drawing power began to heat up, another curveball landed in Reese's lap, her new role on the court. Chicago Sky head coach Tyler Marsh isn't just tweaking her game, he's completely overhauling it. Reese, known for dominating under the basket, is being pushed out to the perimeter. The plan? Turn her into a stretch 4. Less contact, more jumpers.
And then here we have today, basically clapping back at all of that and proving that they know that they are the moment, they are the Showtime team, they are the biggest team currently in the WNBA. This kind of stuff is not only good for the Indiana Fever, it's good for the entire WNBA.
Sounds innovative until you look at her stats. Reese finished dead last in the WNBA among players with significant minutes when shooting within 5 feet of the basket. Her field goal percentage? 39%. Her mid-range numbers? Even worse. From 5 to 9 feet out, She was barely making 13% of her shots. Now imagine moving her farther from the hoop. That's not strategy. That's sabotage. This new role doesn't just challenge her physically. It strikes at the core of her brand. Reese built her identity around physicality, rebounding, and double-doubles. If you take her away from the paint, you take away what made her effective in the first place. No rebounds, no second-chance points, no dominant stat lines. And suddenly, the Bayou Barbie is looking more like a bench player than a franchise centerpiece. While Angel Reese struggles to fill half an arena in her own backyard, Caitlin Clark is selling out NBA venues across the country. Her preseason homecoming with the Indiana Fever at Iowa's Carver Hawkeye Arena? Sold out in minutes. Fans crashed ticketing websites just for a chance to see her play in an exhibition match. We're not talking playoff basketball. We're talking preseason. And it's not just Iowa. Wherever Clark goes, seats fill up. TV networks are scrambling to televise her games. 41 of 44 are already scheduled for national broadcasts. She doesn't need to remind the world she's a draw. Her results do it for her. She's broken jersey sales records, outpaced every WNBA rookie in history, and forced teams to move games to NBA-level arenas to accommodate demand. Meanwhile, Clark remains quiet, focused, and effective. No drama, no boastful claims, just impact. The media can't stop covering her, and the fans can't stop showing up. That's not just success, that's dominance. And it stands in stark contrast to Reese's recent trajectory. Angel Reese says people are watching for her. Caitlin Clark never had to. That's the difference. One is trying to speak her stardom into existence. The other is letting the numbers do the talking. The contrast isn't just striking, it's humbling. Because in sports, perception might sell a few headlines, but results are what fill the seats. Reese is entering a dangerous zone, one where the narrative she created is outpacing the results she's delivering. She's been marketed as the next big thing, a generational star. But if she can't adapt to her new role or prove she can bring fans out in force, the league won't wait for her to catch up. The WNBA is hungry for stars, and Clark's already eating. This isn't about tearing Reese down. It's about recognizing that the spotlight isn't guaranteed. You have to earn it, and keep earning it. Every single game. If Angel Reese wants to be the reason people watch, the time to prove it is now. Because fans are watching, but maybe not for her. The story of Angel Reese's homecoming is more than just an attendance issue. It's a mirror. A reflection of how quickly the game can change and how quickly fans can shift their attention. Reese is still young, talented, marketable, but the league is moving fast. And in the WNBA, attention isn't given, it's earned. As her role on the court evolves and the narrative off the court intensifies, Reese is at a crossroads. Will she embrace the challenge, improve her game, and silence the critics? Or will the gap between perception and performance grow too wide to ignore? Because in the end, packed arenas don't lie, and neither do empty ones.